Niccolò Machiavelli sat in a cold prison cell in 1513, falsely accused of conspiracy. His fingers were broken, his body tortured, his reputation destroyed. And yet, within months of his release, he wrote the most dangerous political manual ever created, a book so ruthless that his name became synonymous with manipulation itself. The Prince wasn't just a book about power. It was a blueprint for psychological warfare. And here's what most people don't understand. Machiavelli didn't invent these tactics. He simply revealed what the most powerful people in history had been doing in silence for centuries. This video will break down 7 psychological weapons Machiavelli used to understand, manipulate, and control human behavior. Not motivational advice, not surface-level strategy, raw, uncomfortable truth about how power actually works.
You're not here for the same reason everyone else clicked. You're here because something inside you already knows that the world doesn't operate on fairness, honesty, or good intentions. You're here because you want to see the game that's being played on you every single day by your boss, your competition, your relationships, even by people who smile at your face. Most people will never learn what you're about to learn, not because it's hidden, but because they're too afraid to accept it.
Drop one word in the comments that describes your biggest weakness in social or professional power dynamics. One word, no explanation. Let's see how honest you're willing to be.
Tactic 1. The Mask of Morality. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." This is the foundation of everything. People don't respond to who you are. They respond to who they think you are. And the most dangerous players in any game understand this at a cellular level. They control perception before they control reality. Look at any corporate leader, any politician, any influential figure who's held power for decades. You'll notice something. Their public image is flawless, humble, moral, relatable. But behind closed doors, calculated, ruthless, unforgiving. Machiavelli didn't say you should be immoral. He said you should appear moral while doing what's necessary to survive and win. Because here's the truth most people can't handle. The world rewards results, not virtue. Your reputation is a tool, not a reflection of your soul. So ask yourself, are you protecting an image that serves your goals, or are you exposing your intentions to people who will use them against you? The strongest move you can make is to let people underestimate your intelligence while overestimating your kindness. They'll never see you coming.
Tactic 2. Strategic opacity. Machiavelli understood something most people never will. Clarity is weakness. The moment people fully understand you, your motives, your methods, your emotions, they can predict you. And prediction is control. This is why the most powerful people in any room are also the most difficult to read. They don't overshare. They don't explain themselves. They don't react emotionally in public. They operate in shadows, not because they're hiding, but because ambiguity is power. Think about it. When someone asks you a direct question and you give a direct answer, you've just given away leverage. You've shown your hand. You've made yourself simple. But when you respond with questions, pauses, partial truths, and calculated silence, you force the other person to fill in the gaps. And in doing so, they reveal themselves. Machiavelli advised rulers to never let their enemies, or even their allies, know their full plan. Because the moment you're transparent, you're vulnerable. So here's the application. Stop explaining yourself to people who don't need to know. Stop defending your decisions to people who aren't invested in your success. Let your actions be clear. Let your intentions stay hidden. Mystery is magnetic. Predictability is forgettable. And the person who controls information controls the outcome.
Tactic 3. Fear over love. Machiavelli's most controversial statement. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. This sounds cruel, immoral, dangerous. But here's the reality. Love is conditional. Fear is constant. People who love you will abandon you the moment their feelings change, the moment a better option appears, the moment it's no longer convenient to support you. But people who fear the consequences of crossing you, they stay in line. Now, let's be clear. Machiavelli wasn't advocating for tyranny or cruelty for its own sake. He was advocating for respect through consequence. If people know that betraying you, disrespecting you, or undermining you will result in a swift and unavoidable cost, they won't do it. This applies everywhere. In business, people don't respect the boss who's everyone's friend. They respect the one who holds them accountable. In relationships, people don't value the person who tolerates everything. They value the one who has boundaries and enforces them. In social dynamics, people don't fear the loud, emotional person. They fear the calm one who never forgets and always follows through. So the question is, are you trying to be liked or are you trying to be respected? Because you can't beg for both. Machiavelli would tell you, make people glad they're on your side, not because you're nice, but because the alternative is worse. Fear without cruelty, respect without desperation. That's the balance.
Tactic 4. The art of controlled generosity. Here's where Machiavelli gets subtle. He said, benefits should be given little by little so that they may be better enjoyed. Most people think generosity is about giving as much as possible, being selfless, helping everyone. But Machiavelli understood generosity, when done wrong, creates entitlement. When done right, it creates loyalty. If you give someone everything at once, they'll take it for granted. They'll expect more. They'll forget what you did for them the moment it's convenient. But if you give strategically, small favors over time, spaced out, never predictable, you keep people in a state of gratitude and dependence. They remember each individual act. They feel indebted. They stay engaged. This is how intelligence agencies recruit assets, how corporations retain employees, how manipulators keep people hooked. They don't overwhelm you with kindness. They drip feed it, just enough to keep you coming back. Now flip this into self-defense. When someone is too generous too quickly, you're not dealing with kindness. You're dealing with strategy. They're buying your loyalty, your compliance, your silence. So here's the move. Never give people everything you're capable of giving. Let them see glimpses. Let them earn more. And never be fooled by someone who showers you with gifts, attention, or favors without clear reason. Because in Machiavelli's world, nothing is free. Every act of generosity is an investment. And the question is, who's investing in who?
Tactic 5. Ruthless pragmatism. Machiavelli didn't care about right or wrong. He cared about what works. And that's what makes his philosophy so dangerous and so effective. He wrote, "The ends justify the means." Most people live by ideology, by morals, by what they think they should do. But the people who actually win, they live by results. They don't ask, "Is this fair?" They ask, "Will this work?" They don't ask, "Is this kind?" They ask, "Will this move me forward?" This doesn't mean you become a sociopath. It means you stop letting outdated beliefs sabotage your success. Machiavelli would tell you, if you're in a position where being honest will destroy you and being strategic will save you, choose survival. If you're in a situation where playing fair means losing everything and playing smart means winning, choose victory. Because here's the harsh truth: no one remembers your moral purity when you're powerless. History is written by winners, not by martyrs. So ask yourself, are you making decisions based on what sounds noble or what actually works? Are you protecting your ego or are you protecting your position? Because Machiavelli's world has no sympathy for people who lose with honor. It only respects people who win. Tactic 6. The illusion of choice. This is one of the most elegant tactics in Machiavelli's arsenal. He understood people resist control, but they accept influence. So instead of forcing people to do what you want, you give them options. Options you've already designed. You let them feel like they're making the decision. You let them feel autonomous, powerful, in control. But in reality, every path they can choose leads to your desired outcome. This is how master negotiators work. They don't demand, they don't argue. They present 2 or 3 options, all of which benefit them, and let you pick. This is how parents manage children. Do you want to clean your room now or after dinner? The child feels empowered. The room gets cleaned either way. This is how manipulators trap you. They make you think you're choosing freely, when really you're choosing between 2 versions of their plan. Machiavelli applied this to politics. He'd frame decisions so that rulers felt they were in control, while he quietly steered the outcome. So here's the application. Stop trying to convince people. Stop trying to argue them into submission. Instead, design their choices. Present options. Frame the conversation. Control the parameters of the decision. Let them think it's their idea. And when people believe they chose something themselves, they'll defend it like it was their own. That's not manipulation. That's architecture.
Tactic 7. Emotional detachment from outcomes. Machiavelli was imprisoned, tortured, exiled, and humiliated. And yet, he wrote his masterpiece with cold clarity. No bitterness, no rage, no emotional collapse. Because he understood the final, most powerful tactic of all, emotional detachment. The moment you become emotionally dependent on an outcome, you lose control. You make desperate decisions. You reveal your hand. You become predictable. Machiavelli's philosophy was built on one truth: the world is chaotic, people are fickle, and nothing is guaranteed. So the only way to navigate power is to stay calm in the face of betrayal, loss, and uncertainty. This is what separates amateurs from masters. Amateurs panic when things don't go their way. Masters adapt. Amateurs take betrayal personally. Masters expect it. Amateurs need to win every battle. Masters only care about the war. You see this in every high-stakes environment. The best poker players don't tilt. The best generals don't fear loss. The best leaders don't attach their identity to outcomes. They play the game. They don't become the game. So here's the move. Stop needing things to go your way. Stop being devastated when people disappoint you. Stop tying your self-worth to results you can't fully control. Stay sharp, stay detached, stay 3 steps ahead. Because in Machiavelli's world, the person who cares less has more power, and the person who can lose everything without breaking is the one no one can truly defeat.
Machiavelli died in 1527, bitter and broke. His book was banned by the church. His name became a curse. And yet, 500 years later, every person in power has read him. Why? Because he told the truth that no one else was willing to say out loud. Power doesn't care about your morals. It cares about your strategy. The world doesn't reward the kindest, it rewards the smartest. And the people who win aren't the ones who play fair. They're the ones who see the game for what it is and play it better than everyone else. You've just learned 7 tactics that have shaped empires, toppled kings, and built fortunes. The question is, what are you going to do with them? Because knowledge without action is just entertainment. And Machiavelli didn't write The Prince to entertain you. He wrote it to arm you. Now go use it.